Hi everyone, today I'm going to be tying the Liberace Hulk, which is basically a caddis-style nymph that I use in slightly coloured water when the water's running a bit faster. It's a big fly with a big bead, but it'll sink quickly, and it's got a bit of flash on, so it can attract the fish, because any light that is getting down there will be reflected off it. So first things first, in the vise we've got a size 10 grub hook, heavyweight caddis, whatever you want to call it. Basically anything that's got that nice curved shape to it. In terms of the bead, 3.5mm tungsten, and it's in that nice caddisy green style colour. So next thing we're going to do is thread. So I've gone for olive. This is just the UTC 70 denier. So straight in with that. A few turns to keep it locked in place. Just snip that tag away. So key thing is to just try and keep it nice and smooth where you can. Don't worry too much if you miss a couple of turns or you put one on top of the other at this stage. Down about halfway down the bend. The next thing you want is some vinyl nymph rib. So this one's clear. It's really good stuff. So it's got like a flat bottom, so it's like a D shape I suppose. So it wraps on really nicely, but it gives a nice segmented effect. So what I've done with this bit that I've cut off is I've come in with the scissors and I've just snipped the end into a bit of a point. Reason for that is it'll just reduce the bulk when I'm tying it on at the base. So I'll come in, just lay it to the side of the hook, loose turn to catch it in, a couple of tight wraps, and then I'm going to come back up the body. The reason I always come all the way back up and all the way back down with the thread is because I want to keep the body as uniform as possible. So if I was just concentrating my thread turns where I'm tying things in, it's going to get really bulky really quickly. Whereas if you bring the thread all the way, it's going to reduce that effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just one underneath, just for a bit of extra peace of mind. Back over. So that's the body in. So the next thing we want to do is the underbody. So what I'm using for that is Opal Mirage tinsel. So I've cut a length of that off as well. Just gonna come in, same place, just a loose turn to trap it in. Get a few nice tight wraps on it just to secure it in place, and then again all the way back up. Not bothered about touching turns at the minute. A few turns in that, just tighten the tension on that. So then, am I happy with it? No, I'm going to give it a bit more, so I'm going to come back down all the way. Back up. Right, happy with that now, so I'll just leave this thread up at the top. So the next thing I want to do is wind on the tinsel. So I'm going to just grab my pliers here. Just find it a bit easier to work with the pliers. So wrap it round, touching turns, slightly overlapping each turn really. Doesn't matter if it's a big overlap, a small overlap, it's all going to get covered over. The key thing is that you just want the entire body to be covered in this tinsel. Just going to move my pliers down on the thread a bit. I'll do it with my fingers. So then up somewhere near the head, doesn't have to go all the way to the head. A few wraps. I don't pay much attention to how many I'm doing, just under and over, just until I'm really happy that it's not going to go anywhere. And I come in with my scissors, snip away that tag end. So there's the underbody done. So now we want to put the nymph rib body on. So 9 times out of 10, the way it's tied in will dictate which way you want to wind it. There does tend to be a kind of natural way for it to turn. So it looks like it's going to be away from me. That's fine. So this, it's quite a thick material anyway, so it's very easy to wind up in touching turns. There you go. I'm going to stop that just a little bit short of the head, because I want to leave a bit of room for a hackle. But same again, a few turns either side, just till I'm happy it's locked in. And then I'm just going to see which way I can get in with my scissors. Snip that away. I haven't gone very close there, come back in. Just watch your thread. Last thing you want to do is cut your thread. There we go. So that's the main body of the fly done. So the next thing you want to do is hackle. What I like to do with this is a partridge hackle that's been dyed olive. So hopefully you can see that there. So it's got some lovely brown markings on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip away 1/2. So strip 1/2 away, and then I just want to tease out the tip like so. So I'm going to tie it in tip first, so just tie the tip in nice and tight, couple of turns over, couple of turns over. That's locked in place. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you leave that tip in there, but I just like to just snip it out of the way so you can see what I'm working with. Back in with some hackle pliers. And then it really is personal preference, so 1, 2, that's enough. That's enough of a hackle for me. So then I come back over with my thread, just between, couple there, give it one more, there we go, so it's locked in place. So again, just come in with some scissors, snip it as close as you can. And then sometimes you'll find some of the hackles are kind of stuck together a little bit, so dub a needle in just to separate them out, just see how it looks. Yeah, happy with that. Ultimately the hackle is just to provide a bit of movement anyway, so it doesn't need to be neat and tidy. It's just going to be kind of wafting around in the current as it is. So as long as it's in there, looks a bit untidy up at the head there, so I'll just put another couple of turns in there. So final thing I want to do is just add a bit of dubbing. So what I like to use for a dubbing on this is a hare's ear and seal's fur blend, which I conveniently haven't prepared. So what I'll do is I've got some fiery brown and some golden ochre buzz in here, dubbing, sorry. So I'm just going to add that on and see what that looks like. So I haven't used any wax. I don't use wax at all when I'm dubbing. I find if you just lick your thumb and forefinger, it'll work just as well. But it also means that you can move it up and down the thread. So for instance, I've put a little bit on there. If I want to move it up or move it down, I can do that with ease. When you've used wax, it's very difficult to do that. So there we go. Yeah, I think that dubbing looks quite nice actually. So last thing we want to do is obviously finish off. I'll just put a quick half hitch in there. Just make sure it sits behind the bead so it's locked in place. And then we're going to go a little bit old school. I'm going to use some head cement. I'm going to use an old dubbing needle. A little bit on the tip there. I'm just going to rub that onto the thread, just on either side, just to make sure it's coated. And then throw in another couple of hitches. And then one more for luck. And there we have it. So that's the Liberace Hulk. I've made a slight variation with the dubbing that I would normally use, but I think it works quite well. Nice bit of contrast actually. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully you'll give it a go. It certainly works for me, so good luck. Thanks for watching.